The old garage stood at the edge of town like a forgotten memory, its rusted metal door hanging crookedly from broken hinges. Weeds pushed through cracked concrete, shattered windows reflected the bright afternoon sun, and most people crossed the street rather than walk near it. Yet on that warm summer day, a struggling young man stared at the building with a determination that nobody else could understand. What happened next would shock an entire city and prove that sometimes the greatest opportunities arrive disguised as worthless junk. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that inspire hope, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to Heartwarming Tales. Your support helps us bring more uplifting stories to life. Ethan Mercer had spent most of his 28 years fighting against circumstances that seemed determined to hold him down. After losing his father at a young age, he worked countless jobs to support his mother. Life had never offered him shortcuts or lucky breaks. Every dollar he earned came from long days and sleepless nights. By the time this story began, Ethan was exhausted. His savings account contained barely enough money to survive a few more months, and every business idea he had tried had failed. Across town, billionaire CEO Victor Langston was preparing to demolish several abandoned properties his company had acquired years earlier. Among them was the old garage. To Victor, it was nothing more than an eyesore occupying valuable land. The building had no electricity, no running water, and decades of neglect had reduced it to a shell of its former self. When Ethan heard rumors about the planned demolition, something unusual caught his attention. Most people saw a ruined building. Ethan saw potential. Using nearly every dollar he had saved, Ethan approached the company and offered to buy the garage. The executives laughed at first. Some thought he was joking. Others wondered why anyone would spend money on such a hopeless structure. Eventually, Victor himself approved the sale. For exactly $1,000, the CEO signed away ownership of what he considered worthless junk. The day Ethan received the keys, many people thought he had made the biggest mistake of his life. The first few weeks were brutal. The daytime heat turned the garage into an oven. Dust filled the air with every movement. Ethan worked alone from sunrise until sunset, hauling away trash, repairing walls, and cleaning years of neglect. His hands blistered. His clothes were covered in dirt. More than once, he sat on the cracked floor wondering whether everyone else had been right. But every time doubt appeared, Ethan remembered something his father had once told him. Great things are often hidden beneath layers of struggle. As the days passed, Ethan discovered something remarkable. The garage was located near several growing neighborhoods, and there were very few affordable workshops available for local craftsmen, mechanics, and small business owners. Instead of opening a traditional repair shop, Ethan imagined creating a shared workspace where entrepreneurs could rent affordable sections and build their dreams. The idea sounded risky. The building needed extensive repairs. The money was almost gone. Several contractors refused to work without upfront payments Ethan couldn't afford. Yet somehow he kept moving forward. During the day, he repaired the garage himself. At night, he delivered food and worked temporary jobs to buy materials. Word slowly spread through the community. An elderly carpenter offered unused tools. A retired electrician volunteered to inspect the wiring. Local business owners donated paint, wood, and equipment. Many of them had watched Ethan work tirelessly under the hot afternoon sun and admired his determination. What started as one man's impossible dream began turning into a community effort. 3 months later, the transformation was becoming visible. Fresh paint covered the walls. New windows allowed sunlight to flood the interior. Workstations lined the building. The once abandoned garage no longer looked forgotten. It looked alive. Still, success remained uncertain. Ethan opened the doors and waited. The first week brought only 2 customers. The second week brought 3 more. Bills continued piling up, and anxiety followed him everywhere. Some nights he stared at financial spreadsheets until dawn, wondering how long he could continue. Then something unexpected happened. One of the small businesses operating from the garage posted videos online showing their workspace transformation. Thousands of people watched. Local news stations picked up the story. Soon entrepreneurs from neighboring towns began visiting. They were inspired by the affordable space, supportive environment, and unique sense of community Ethan had created. Demand exploded almost overnight. Every workstation became occupied. Waiting lists formed. New businesses launched from the garage and quickly found success. A local furniture maker doubled his income. A young mechanic opened her first independent service operation. Artists, craftsmen, and entrepreneurs found opportunities they never thought possible. Within 6 months, the garage generated more revenue than Ethan had earned during the previous 5 years combined. But the most surprising moment was still ahead. Victor Langston, the CEO who had sold the garage for $1,000, heard about the growing success and decided to visit personally. Standing in the same building he once considered worthless, he watched dozens of entrepreneurs working side by side. Laughter echoed through the workshop. Machines hummed. Creativity filled every corner. The transformation was almost unbelievable. The abandoned structure had become the center of a thriving business community. What shocked Victor even more was learning that Ethan had already begun expanding. Profits from the garage were being invested into additional properties. Ethan planned to renovate other neglected buildings and turn them into affordable business hubs. The model was working so well that investors had started contacting him with partnership offers. The young man everyone had doubted was building an empire. Yet despite his growing success, Ethan never forgot the people who helped him along the way. He created scholarship programs for young entrepreneurs. He offered reduced rent to struggling startups. He hired local workers and invested back into the community that believed in him when nobody else did. His empire wasn't built only on profit. It was built on opportunity. Years later, people still talked about the famous garage. New entrepreneurs would walk through its doors and hear the story of how one determined man saw value where everyone else saw junk. The building became a symbol of hope, proving that circumstances do not define destiny. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs motivation today. Your support helps Heartwarming Tales continue sharing stories that inspire people around the world. Special request: comment below with the word believe if you think hard work and determination can turn any obstacle into an opportunity. As the sun set one evening, golden light poured through the garage windows, illuminating the busy workshop that had changed so many lives. Ethan stood quietly in the corner, watching people chase dreams they once thought impossible. In that moment, he realized the greatest success wasn't the money, the properties, or the growing empire. It was knowing that one abandoned garage had become a place where hope was rebuilt every single day. And sometimes, that is worth more than any fortune in the world.